Ex-tropical cyclone Jasper has now moved northwards and dragged with it more of the big shower bands and thunderstorms.
SES Rescue, can you hear us?
We've still got crews right across those impacted areas and they're still active around the Daintree, Mossman areas.
Our focus is still on the evacuation of Wudjil in preparation for a larger evacuation later in the day with the assistance of ADF.
Despite dropping water levels, several towns across far north Queensland remain cut off, including the flooded remote town of Wudjil.
You hold grave concerns for the elderly people there. And, you know, some of the people are on dialysis. If we don't get urgent medical attention to these elders, unfortunately, you know, we might hear bad news.
This afternoon, the Premier had a message for residents.
I know that you're tired and wet and uncomfortable, but help is on its way just as soon as we could have done it.
As the water recedes and cleanup begins, stories of extraordinary courage.
Heard about a helicopter pilot helping to fly people out on his little chopper, one by one, collecting them from roofs, taking them to safety.
Yeah, we got you.
Gavin, he got in a tinny with his mates and started rescuing strangers clinging to trees in floodwaters.
Okay, we got you, mate. Can you get down? Yeah.
The Premier and the Prime Minister promising relief with one-off support payments of $1,000 for eligible adults and $400 for eligible children.
The Australian Government Disaster Recovery Payment and Disaster Recovery Allowance will open for people who live and work in the councils affected.
We will be there with them during this cleanup, the disaster assessments, and then moving into the recovery phase.
Queenslanders once again asked to be resilient.
Of course, it will be some difficult days and weeks ahead. The worst of times brings out the best of the Australian character.
Gavin Dear is from Rossville, just south of Cooktown. Gavin, let me get this straight. You heard there were some people stranded on the roof of a local pub. What happened next?
Well, initially I thought that was outrageous because that pub would never be flooded. And so we went down, Albert and I, my son, and his partner G. We were heading there and we just caught a very faint help. And so we turned around and went in, and sure enough, yeah, we found a fella right up a tree. We got him back to the bitumen and went to the den again and heard another distant help. We went back and got him, 6 foot his name is, or his nickname. He was in a pretty bad way. He could barely climb down that tree. He managed to get down, and he got onto the bough of the tinny, and we took him back. And then by then, a chopper, a little Robinson 22, had started going back and forth, and it was Magoo, a well-known mustering pilot up here, and he'd been called from Lakeland. He was heading north from Lakeland, and someone actually rang him up and said, "Hey, Magoo, there's a rumour of there's people on the den." And he went, "No way." And he came for a look, and that's how he got those 16 people off in 16 trips back and forth.
Wow.
Taking one person at a time, you know, one skid on the roof. So he got them off there just in time. And so it was a successful morning, really.
You said that the people were in a terrible state. Like, how long had they been in the trees and how long had they been on the roof of the pub?
Between 4 and 5 a.m, they all got up there, maybe a bit before that. 6 foot and his mate, they were in a truck, a big giant fire truck outside the pub, way up. And with 3 dogs in the truck as well. And they got washed out of that big truck and off they went on their journey. The pub roof, we didn't get down there till mid-morning, so, they were up there for a long time.
Just in terms of the response in situations like this, I guess watching from afar, as most of us are, it seems like communities like yours have been slightly left to fend for yourself. Is that what it's been like?
Well, it's always been like that. And we're all fine with that. And honestly, the SES and emergency services are sort of built for more of built-up environment. They don't really function out here because we're in the middle of nowhere. And, I mean, there is so many crazy characters up here, but they might drink a lot, but they're very multi-skilled, a lot of them. They can do anything. We're used to cyclones, we're used to floods. We are not used to biblical floods of this scale. That's the thing.
Well, you said Magoo's the hero, but the PM even gave you a shout-out. What did you think of that?
I thought that's the most bloody ridiculous thing, and I'm going to cop shit from my family the rest of my life. You know, good on you, Albo, but no. No.
We've got Magoo and we've got 6 Foot. What's your nickname?
I'm a real boring bastard, mate. They call me Gav. Yes, a bit of a worry, isn't it, up here?
Really appreciate your time tonight. Thanks very much.
Cheers, eh?